Welcome to my 2024 Tech Awards. 2024 has been an amazing year for tech, and these are the best. 2025 is coming up, and I'm excited to see what tech is coming for next year. So the first category we have is the best smartphone. Now this was a debate between the Samsung S24 Ultra, the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and Google's latest Pro 9. Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max and the entire iPhone 16 lineup got camera control, which is a little fiddly, and I don't think I would find myself using it that much, especially considering I don't really use phones as cameras. Right now I'm actually recording on a GoPro Hero 9. I don't really find myself recording with a smartphone, but I will not deny that a good smartphone camera is useful, and it was kind of a debate. Now, everybody knows that the biggest tech rival, like smartphone rival of 2024 and the past years was Samsung vs Apple. Now, this is a type of question that keeps people up at night, and it has kept me up at night too. But I've officially narrowed it down with all of those Ultra phones out there, all of those amazing flagships. I'm gonna give this the S24 Ultra. And no, this is not going to be one of those videos where I just give every single award to Samsung and Apple, but I do have some other tech companies that did have their place in this video too. The S23 Ultra used to have the biggest display out of the two best phones, and Apple actually took it up a notch this year and upped their display size by 0.1 inch over Samsung's S24 Ultra. But that doesn't mean that the S24 Ultra screen does not look bigger. The iPhone 16 Pro Max does have dynamic island that looks pretty big on the screen. It's like this giant pill. Most of us have seen it. So the S24 Ultra display actually looks bigger. And it's not just about the display. The design is amazing. Both the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the S24 Ultra got titanium, which is actually an upgrade, but not really, because most people are gonna have their phones in cases. I'm one of them. It is something to consider. It is something smartphone companies have to make better, because I've had some cases where the case does not protect the phone. So it is something that they need to consider. But it's not even just that. It's the second fastest. The iPhone 16 Pro Max actually is fastest, but not by that far. You know what I mean? So most people won't even notice, honestly. I won't notice. It's perfectly fine. It has the best phone cameras. That is something for sure. It has the best smartphone cameras. It has the best battery life. And it's the only smartphone right now, like the only big smartphone, that has an anti-reflective display, which is actually amazing when you're outdoors. But that's enough about the best smartphone. Let's get into the best budget smartphone. The best budget smartphone actually goes to the S24 FE. Once again, this is not going to be a video where all the awards goes to Apple and Samsung, but they really are the best. The S24 FE is the lowest of the S24 lineup of 2024, and it still has a lot of good specs. It has the best price to value, and it only starts at $649. It has a 6.7 inch screen, a 10 megapixel rear camera, a 50 megapixel rear camera, and it can actually record in 8K. It has a 128 gigabyte storage and 8 gigabyte RAM. That's amazing for a phone that's only $649, and it's pretty durable because considering it is made by Samsung, and it's actually pretty much amazing. There's lots of other ones. I've seen phones where you can literally easily change the back of it, like the entire backing, and you don't even have to be a phone repairman. But the S24 FE does come out as the best price for value. It's pretty cheap considering those flagship smartphones, but at the same time, it's still amazing. It's not like one of those phones where they cut the specs down to like cut the price. It's still amazing. Next up, we've got the best entry-level laptop. Now, this is actually, once again, a very tough choice. We've got lots and lots and lots and lots of Windows laptops, and we have Mac laptops. And Mac laptops have always been known to be faster. It's very hard to come across a Mac laptop that has a lag to it, but I cannot say the same thing for Windows laptops, because most of those run on Intel. Oh my gosh, I don't even have anything to say. Nightmares, okay? Not only that, laptops are mostly what most people use, like students. Most students own a laptop or need a laptop, and we all know laptops for being portable. Like, for example, it's the best consumer laptop, and when I say it's actually amazing, it's amazing. Like I said, it's like a Mac Mini, but a laptop. It's not the smallest. It is pretty chunky because it has a fan, but that's not. It does start at 64 gigabytes of storage, and you can get it with 256 gigabytes of storage. So the best budget desktop computer actually goes to the Mac Studio, which I did do a video on in the past. And the reason I didn't give it to the Mac Pro, I touched that in the other video, but lightly touching on it, the Mac Pro and the Mac Studio have the same basic specs, except because of better cooling, the Mac Pro comes out as 10% to 30% faster, and it's not even that noticeable. And the Mac Studio is way better, way smaller. It's actually portable, a brick itself, but portable. You can actually fit it in a decent sized bag, and it's actually amazing. It has a 76 core GPU, 24 core CPU, and you can get it with 8 terabytes of storage with the M2 Ultra chip. It starts at $3,999, and it actually has lots of ports like Thunderbolt 4 ports, HDMI ports, Ethernet ports. It has USB ports, and it has 2 fans inside that makes the clocking still pretty good too. The best budget computer actually goes to the Mac Mini. I did mention it earlier. It got the M4 chip and the M4 Pro chip, and it's so small. It's the Mac Mini. Every single time Apple upgrades it, they make it smaller, and it's basically like, it looks like a shrunken version of the Mac Studio, and it's actually portable. The Mac Studio is portable too, but it's actually literally portable. Like, you won't have any problems with it. And in fact, depending on your coat pocket, you might even be able to fit it in your coat pocket, depending on the size. And it's actually amazing for its size. It's super fast. It's for the pros, but like those minimalistic pros. Like I said, for the MacBook Air, it's for those who don't really need heavy video editing and things like that. It starts at $599 with the M4 chip and $1,399 with the M4 Pro chip. Now, finally, an award that does not go to Samsung or Apple. This award actually goes to Google, and it's for the best foldable smartphone. This award goes to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. When it's open, the display size is actually 8 inches, and on the outside when it's closed, the display size is actually 6.3 inches. Foldable phones don't really have a big exterior display, but this is actually one of those pretty big ones, and it's actually amazing. It's actually the biggest fold phone, and it runs on the Google Tensor G4 chip. It has 600 gigabytes of RAM, and you can get it with 512 gigabytes of storage. It also has the best design, and funny enough, it's actually the most improved smartphone. I don't know if you guys have seen the Pixel 8 Pro Fold, but that thing was so ugly, guys. I promise you. Yo, I don't even have any words for the design. I don't have any words for the way it was, for the crease that was in the middle of it. Oh my gosh, the durability. That was such a big improvement that I gave it most improved too. This year, the design was actually amazing, and I can't wait to see what next year's design is gonna look like. It also has Google Gemini, which is actually something that not much people are talking about thanks to Apple Intelligence and Galaxy AI, but Google Gemini actually has live talk, which is actually amazing, where you're practically talking to an AI as if it was a person. I mean, that's pretty creepy, but it's actually amazing too. The best budget foldable actually goes to the OnePlus Open. It has a 7.3 inch open display. It's smaller than the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and when it's closed on the outside, it has a 6.3 inch display. It's actually the cheapest foldable smartphone, and that's after it got a price cut. And even before the price cut, it was still the cheapest. So for those who want a foldable phone but want to spend the least money possible, I would go for the OnePlus Open. It runs on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip, which is actually the step down chip from the S24 series, which runs on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, and that doesn't mean it's lacking in performance. The best flip phone goes to the Galaxy Z Fold 6. That phone is pretty small compared to the other ones, but that doesn't mean it's not amazing. It has the best cameras on a fold phone, which makes sense because Samsung has the best smartphone cameras, and it has a 6.7 inch display opened up. It actually also runs on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, and it's amazing. It's super fast, which is amazing for such a small phone. It has 12 gigabytes RAM, 256 gigabytes storage, which is just amazing. And this starts at $1,219.99. The Motorola Razr Plus is actually bigger than it, but the crease is actually very noticeable and more noticeable than the one on the Samsung. The best budget laptop. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be listening because this is actually going to be very useful to some of you. I don't know who, but some of you. And the best budget laptop actually goes to the Asus VivoBook. You can actually get it for $456 on Amazon, and it's actually very cheap for a laptop. It's for those who need super light use, who just need a laptop but don't need the best laptop. It has about 8 hours of light use, that's like web browsing and stuff like that. It has a 720 pixel camera that has a privacy block for added privacy, and it has a 1080 pixels display. It runs on the AMD Ryzen 5. Ryzen is actually, I'd say, closest to Apple with Apple Silicon because their chips are actually in most cases faster than the Intel chips. The display is actually very sharp for a 1080p display, but I will say that it is pretty clunky and the design is pretty modern, but at the same time a little outdated. The screen is also 16 inches. That concludes my 2024 Tech Awards. I can't wait to see what 2025 in store for us. I hope you had a good year. I will see you next year. Please consider liking and subscribing. Share this video with your friends and your family who also love tech. Leave a comment down below and tell me which piece of tech is your favorite in each category, and I will see you next year. Peace.